Hello, pocket knife community, knife lovers, knife enthusiasts, interested viewers. Folder here. I admit it, 100%. I got these scales for the looks. 100%. Only reason. When I saw these scales some time back, Nick Shabazz did a review of them, and I thought they were the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Especially on the PM2. I actually love the PM2 closed. It's one of my favorite knives closed. I'm really big into the artistic view of knives, not just for as functional tools, but the beauty. And the PM2 for me has a very flowing facade in its closed position. I like it open too, but closed, it's amazing. So once I saw these scales, I was just blown away. Wasn't able to get them, and I finally, obviously, I finally am able to get them. And from an aesthetic standpoint, they are just absolutely, I think they are the best looking scales ever made for a PM2. My opinion. I mean, I have 10 PM2s, different scales. This is my third metal one, but G10 carbon fiber. I have numerous. I have a lot of these knives. I like them a lot, obviously. But before this, the Flytanium. I still love the Flytanium. I still love these scales. They're just incredible. But they can't touch these. Looks wise, just absolutely stunning. I just wanted to point out that there definitely was a unintended benefit getting these scales, and that's the ergos. Yeah, the ergos. The ergos are very nice. Actually shocking that they're as good as they are. And the difference between these and any other PM2 scales, you might be asking, like, because there are slight differences. If you look right around, right where the jimping ends, how tight the scales are on the Flytanium, and then they arch out, they branch out around the main pivot here. These are much more consistent in that area. So what happens is I'm so used to the Flytanium because they have a step down scale around where your fingers come around the bottom of the knife, and also step down here, obviously where the compression lock is. So what that does is it creates a crown. It's crowned, so there's a bulk in the center of the scale, which is very comfortable. Very comfortable, I might add. Okay. But as you see, the AWT doesn't have that. It does have a step down area similar to that, but not as dramatic. So it's a lot flatter in the middle area. And then you have the G10 scales that are just kind of almost completely flat. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because if you look right around the jimping, right around the jimping, look at how thick the scales are around the jimping, and then how thin they are here around the jimping. So these are just, without putting a micrometer on the scales, these are just visuals to show that this is a much thinner profile than other scales. So it's not just a beauty, but they are thinner, but not prohibitively thin. The Code 4, one of the reasons I don't like the Code 4, or what I don't like about the Code 4, let me go grab my Code 4. Yeah, so the Code 4 is if you're not familiar with it, cold steel Code 4. It's a big, humongous metal knife. It's aluminum, actually. It's coated aluminum. And it's a big knife. I mean, you can see it compared to the PM2. Yeah, it's, let's see, let's get some boxes here. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's clearly in the 8.5 box. So I don't care to know. I mean, no, put out the official size of it, but just pointing out that it's bigger than the PM2. Um, but it's an extremely thin knife. And sometimes I like thin, but if it's too thin, it's just yeah. And it's actually thinner than this knife. I mean, pretty like significantly thinner than this knife. And this is already a thin knife. So when and I'm pointing this out because I don't mind thin, but when it's metal, it's not as attractive to me. This is coated, so it's not as bad. If it's metal, if it's thin, so the Lawman is thin, very thin knife also. Yeah, just barely thicker than the Code 4, but it's G10. So for me, you still have that grip feeling. You don't have that feeling like it's gonna just drop out of your hand. So that was one of the things, back to this knife that I was concerned about. Not that concerned, because like I said, the reason I got these scales is because I think they're absolutely gorgeous. That is the reason. Even if it was impractical, not a functional, something I didn't like carrying because of it, I didn't care. Because that clip, along with these scales, to me, I can't stress it enough. It just looks incredible to me. So I'm real happy with them. Like I said, an unintended benefit is that the ergos feel good. It doesn't feel too thin. It doesn't feel overly slippery in my hand. They feel good. I'm going to carry this knife. This is not going to be, safe queen. It's got S110V steel, so it holds an edge for a long time and is very corrosion resistant. And I'm going to carry this knife and use this. I'm going to EDC this knife. This is going to be in my pocket. Oh, speaking of being in my pocket, man, where's my iconography? It's got to be out there. But yeah, so yeah, no, I'm going to carry this. This is a very nice set of scales. Very high quality, extremely well made. The fit and finish is excellent. They went on without a hitch. Perfectly centered blade. The action is fantastic. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with this. Yeah, really nice. So yeah, all right. So that's all I got. Yeah. So this guy is good. He's good at what he does. That's the RG Custom Metalworks Spyderco PM2 in S110V. All right, thanks.